As already said, that law is directed towards common good, and human law therefore is no exception. And the promotion of virtue is necessary for common good, and human laws are the instruments for the promotion of virtue. So the laws have to be made in a sensible manner, uh, by the way of deliberations, and here St. Thomas Aquinas uh, agrees with Aristotle, who had already pointed out that those people who are engaged in crime can be contained, can be kept away from committing a crime due to fear of law. So, those people who are evilly, that is evil, and those who are of criminal bent of mind can be stopped from doing certain unethical acts or illegal acts by the way of coercion, that is by the way of force, which may lead them in the direction of virtue. So laws are important, and there are certain other reasons which has been noted by uh, both Aristotle as well as Thomas Aquinas, that few wise persons are necessary rather than having more number of persons for making a sensible law, and those wise persons must be able to judge the laws correctly in each instance. So it understands that law may be different at one point of time as per the needs of the situation. Second thing is, good laws can be made by the lawmakers when they deliberate at length the vital issues related to the communities for giving a virtuous life to its own people. Next, there is less danger of perversion of law, that is making bad laws which is formulated in general. Therefore, there should be such making of laws which are formulated in general, rather than there would be perversion of judgment in particular cases where no law exists to guide the judgment. There might be and there may be different laws for different kinds of citizens, because in the Platonic and Aristotelian era there were a hierarchy of people. It was not based upon the equality. All the men were not treated as equal. There were stratas of human beings, so it was not universal. So different laws for different kinds of citizens who have different functions in the community should be made. Still, laws are general in two ways. All human laws are worthy of the name. Laws are directed towards common good, and emit specific laws, say for merchants or for traders. It is general in some way, and therefore laws can be differentiated according to the needs of the society. Laws must be uh, obeyed by all the human beings, especially the human law, and of course the true human law. So Thomas Aquinas is of the view that if the human law has been made in a right manner, then it must be obeyed by each and everyone. And if the laws are not made in a good manner, that is, it is the perverted laws, then the people have their own choices. So when the laws are made good, even the ruler who has made the law, who has enforced the law, uh, uh, he also must obey it, and he is obliged to follow the law. If he, of course, there is nobody to or nobody over him to judge whether he is doing right or wrong, but people cannot do anything in this regard to contain the ruler if it is committing anything bad. But he here, being a saint, being a priest, he puts a check upon the ruler by saying that the ruler will be ultimately accountable by God if he does some wrong or does some misdeed. So, he goes to the extent of saying that if the ruler has been acting in his self interest rather than the interest of the common good or the entire community, that is, it lacks the rule law lacks common good, then the human beings are free to go for resentment. They can mark their difference against it. They can violate the letter of law, and he understands that there, in most cases, the laws should be made only with the consent of the political authorities. But there are exceptions even to this rule, because when the common good is not being followed by the lawmakers, then or the common good is under danger, then the human law might be challenged by the people. Of course, he says that respect of law, uh, be it human law is should be made in accordance with the customs, conventions, traditions. So reason is that human law has to be respected, for the law is largely a matter of custom or habit, and in essential change or no essential change, that is those changes which are not essential, undermines this custom and traditions or the usages. So common good has to be the primary factor while promulgating law. And if any ruler acts in a dictatorial manner or in a tyrannical manner, then St. Thomas Aquinas goes to the extent of saying that that particular ruler who is acting in a perverted manner, he can be resisted, and he also goes to the extent of saying that tyrannicide, that is killing of the tyrant, is justified. So we can see that Thomas Aquinas has been clear enough in his views that laws should not be made in an arbitrary manner, first. Second thing, that there may be different types of law, but the human law is utmost essential and important for the entire human beings, and the ruler must make the law in accordance with the customs and conventions and the usages. So, he cannot go for making an arbitrary law for in an arbitrary manner or in a sectarian manner. Laws have to be made in accordance with the common good, and the ruler is also asked to follow the rules. If ruler is not working in a good manner, then he may be uh, protested, he may be checked, and there might be revolt by the people in case of tyrant using the law for his own sake, not for the public interest. And it is very clear that Aquinas conceives of all the creatures inside the world according to their types, as governed by the final causes or the ends which they naturally seek. So these ends are implanted in them by the Creator. So I hope that good is to be done and evil is to be avoided is the first principle of the entire universe, because natural law incorporates these values in the creatures. When creature thinks that being good, and all the creatures avoid danger. So in other words, good justification for a moral or legal rule is that it promotes the preservation of human life. Behind this is the fact that all living beings possess an inclination for survival. So here we see that Thomas Aquinas does not give a very upper hand to the church authorities or churchmen, but he gives an equal opportunity for the secular rulers to make the human law, though he is also of the view that churchmen are responsible for giving salvation to the people, and the ruler must act in accordance with the human law, and he must make the human law in a good manner. But he has, of course, tried to maintain the sanctity of the church authorities by giving them an upper hand, uh, and but for the first time he has been trying to maintain a balance between the secular authorities, that is the kings, and the religious authorities, that is the pope and the bishops. That's all, and with this we come to an end of this particular lecture on St. Thomas Aquinas. In the next lecture we will be discussing about Marsilio of Padua. Thank you.